karma.
K-A-R-M-A.
My husband knows how to spell the word karma.
Yes, I've been practicing.
But do you know how to effectively balance karma?
We're in a scale.
Continue watching and you'll learn out how to really do it. So what is karma?
I used to have a friend, David. I think you met David. And he used to, every time he talked about karma, he'd say, "Hey Ken, that's the big K coming. It's the big K." And that's what he referred to it.
I don't recall that friend.
Oh, okay. And that's because he wanted everyone to understand that it's nothing to be scared of, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people get that confused as to what karma is because people think there's good karma and bad karma. Right? We've heard that many times.
There's no such thing as good karma.
Why is that?
Because it's called dharma. The good things you do are called dharma. Karma are all the things that you have done that have created this negative bank of what you have energy that has to be balanced.
Well, negative savings, not
yes.
the bank.
Okay, negative account.
Right,
we'll
there
say.
you go, negative account, right? So that's what karma is.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the negative energy, negative frequencies that we have attracted or created. And then of course dharma is all the good stuff that we've created or attracted.
Okay.
Right? Now, have you ever heard the song? There's a song called "You Look Lovely Tonight" or something like that. I don't know how it goes.
You're gonna ask me? I don't know.
Anyway, you look very lovely as usual.
Well, thank you. Thank God for that.
Yeah, you know, it's just something that I have to say because I know Amori has told me that we should spend more time learn to love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of individuals just don't know how to do that. You give them a compliment and then they turn it around and they'll say something like, well, they'll turn to something negative.
See, I could say, here's an example for all of you. My husband says I look beautiful. I could say, oh, that's just the makeup.
Which you've done before.
I have in the past.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so just know that you are a very lovely, lovely woman. A very beautiful and sexy woman. And
that goes for everyone. Exactly. He's not just talking to me.
For the women as well as for the men.
Yes.
You know, because there are, see, many times we focus so much on the men, the women, that we forget that all men also have that question about, am I important?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Am I handsome?
Am I handsome? Exactly. And we're all made by God, so we're all perfect. We're all handsome, we're all sexy, we're all beautiful. So remember that, everybody. All right, now we go on.
Yes, so how do we effectively balance karma?
Well, first we should remember that what? It's not scary.
Yes.
And because of mass media, movies, I don't know, people are scared when they hear the word karma. They think it's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And then they start to panic. How do I balance it? What do I do now? Oh no, karma. Right? Mm-hmm. As long as we understand that the Ascended Masters are there and God is there to help us with this, then there's nothing to be concerned about.
I know through Facebook and Instagram, different social media platforms, there have been individuals in different groups that I'm a part of, mm-hmm. who will discuss their challenges, and they'll say, this karma's so horrible, it's so miserable. They talk about all these negative things about it, and doesn't it ever go away, and it just seems like it keeps coming back, and I keep recreating it, and which, you know, is probably true based on how you're approaching everything, but they make it seem like it's such a bad thing, that, and it's such a horrible situation to go through, and that's when I usually get on and reassure them. Okay, anyway, that's what we're discussing. So how do you help someone effectively balance it when they have this perception that from the whole social world, I'll call it, of it being such a bad thing and so negative?
Well, that's when they should reach out to One Night Division, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that they can start learning that that's absolutely inaccurate.
Right.
You know, everything is energy, as Jesus said. See, you hear the statement made by Jesus. He made a statement, "Bring me your burden, and I will make them light."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, I know that you know the meaning of this, but how would someone interpret that normally? First of all, know that there are 33 levels of understanding for the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make that clear, because people think that there are contradictions in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
There are not contradictions in the Bible. But there's 33 levels of understanding, so different people understand things differently. It's just that some people want to insist that their understanding is the best.
And the only way.
And the only way, exactly. But now, Jesus made the statement.
Jesus made the statement, yes.
Bring me your burdens, and I will make them light.
In the recent past for me, when I was younger, a child, to me that is, I just prayed to Jesus or Mother Mary or whomever to change the situation.
Right?
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Just pray to them. I need help with this. Will you please, I beg of you to help me with this.
And then people normally, when they talk about burdens, what adjective would they use? They say what? Because Jesus said, I will make them light, then people say what? It's a what? Heavy burden, right?
Right.
That's what people would say.
It's a heavy load.
It's a heavy load, and Jesus will make it light.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about weight.
It's about weight, right. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
What's your new understanding of that?
My new understanding is that when you cast that burden onto Christ, he makes it light, as in energy, like turning on the light bulb. He does whatever he does with the energy and turns it into actual light.
So your burden is what?
Your burden, or whatever your daily challenges are.
Karma.
Your karma. There you go.
See, he didn't say, bring me your karma, and I will make them light. He said, bring me your burden. But your burden is what? Is there any good burden?
No.
And what is karma?
Karma is your burden.
Get it now?
Uh-huh.
Everything negative in your life, that's what karma is.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's saying, bring me your burden, what is he saying?
Bring me your karma. I'll help you make it light.
Now, karma is what? What kind of energy?
Negative energy.
Negative energy is what? Dark energy.
Yes.
Get it?
Yes.
Because it's low vibration, so it's dark. So Jesus said, I will make it light. What is he saying? I will transmute it, because you can't destroy energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can change the form of energy. So instead of it being dark and heavy and low vibration, he's going to transmute that sucker and turn to what? White light,
Mm-hmm.
which then makes it light, and now it's vibrant. And you just balance karma with the help of Jesus and any of the ascended masters. That's what that was saying. That's what Jesus was saying. I guess some people going, oh, right?
Yes.
Now that you understand that, then what do? Every time you have a challenge, or you think it's a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
because nothing really is a challenge. You know that, right?
Right.
It's all your perception
Yep.
to that situation.
Mm-hmm. It's most of the time people reacting instead of stopping, looking at it, and then responding, because they normally take just the real quick perspective of whatever it is that they've learned through their lives, from their experience in this lifetime.
Well, yeah, and you're a great example of that, because when we met, once we got close, you used to react to a lot of things. You were like, oh
yes.
my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And then hit your head over here,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, oh, why is this happening?
And for those of you who didn't see, I would like that,
Mm-hmm.
or go like that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right, you would do that.
Because he said, you'd hit your head over there, but I know you didn't see it, so I had to show you.
Okay. Thanks for showing it. So why did you do that? And that's a long time ago. That's like many, many years ago.
Because I always did things in extremes back then. It was either really good or really bad. And so if it was really bad, I'd smack my head, because that's a learned behavior that I saw people do. And I figured that's how you respond to the situation. That's how, you know, you handle it. You just, oh no, oh my gosh.
And then you panic.
Panic.
Exactly.
Get really anxious and stressed out and
in the beginning you
bite my fingernails. I don't bite my fingernails anymore.
That's right.
It's been years since I've done that. I just realized that.
Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Yes, he was like, why are you picking your nails? Why are you biting your fingernails? I was always, well, not always, but a lot of the time I was reacting.
And then you would move your knee up and down like you couldn't stop that.
Bouncing my legs all the time.
Once we started dating, I put my hand there to
Be
keep
still.
it around. Exactly. But all that, and that's many years ago. See, it's interesting. And now you don't do any of that. Now when something happens, you're like, okay. It's like, no big deal.
Right, okay,
so
go with the flow. But, well, it's a lot of the decrees that I say, and then changing my perspective about how I look at situations.
Well, how's that? How do you look at it now?
When I look at a situation...
How do you see it before, and how do you see it now?
The way I saw it before, it was like life or death type situation. I had to have an answer right then and there. I had to take care of it immediately. Now, when something comes up, I look at it and go, okay, well, we'll see how this gets worked out. Just different attitude towards it.
But does not sound like you're lazy, like, oh, let's see how this works out, and then you just...
It does, but the Ascended Masters have taught me through the training that they are here for us all the time, so that when something does happen, we just cast it upon them. So I'll, you know, if there's a meeting I have to go to, Saint Germain, I thank you for guiding the conversation in this meeting. You know, so immediately I call upon them now, instead of worrying about, oh, I wonder if they're going to talk about this. Oh, I wonder if someone will say that. I'm trying to preconceive what will happen. Yes.
But when we go to meetings, you want to plan and write notes and all that.
Oh, I did. I would go in with my questions already there, and it took me a while, but I had to learn to know, don't even think about it. Just thank the Ascended Masters for being there with me, and let go and see what comes out. And since I started doing that, things have really changed.
So now when you say meeting, is that any type of meeting?
Oh yes, it could just be going to talk to someone at the school, or it could be talking to my mom on the phone.
Right.
You know, anything.
How about if it's a situation where you know somebody might be upset with you, or you know it's something that you should deal with because they're upset, they're complaining about something. Do you do the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do now. In the past I wouldn't, and then I'd get really stressed out. But now I do. I just thank the Ascended Masters for being there. You know, and sometimes if it's a situation, even after we've talked, and it's still really intense, I'll just say, okay, I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free. And I visualize it, and I let it go.
So you're giving away some tools, huh? For free. Huh?
It's all right. You'll get more when you become a Project Prosperity member, or the trainees training facilitator.
So now let's say you're dealing with a situation where you just feel overwhelmed by it. I mean, that doesn't really happen to you now.
Doesn't.
But in the past, you know, well now, if a situation, for example, someone calls us, right? And they say, oh, and we get these many times, we get messages, I need an answer for this right now. Could you help me with this right now, right? Mm-hmm. And or people will, especially when their family member is on what doctors say on their deathbed, or we've had a lot of those, right, where they call like last minute, like, oh, could you do something? And they expect us to do something immediately. How do you handle those, knowing that these people are panicking?
Well, to get them to calm down, I remind them to say the Violet Flame Decree, the I am a being of violet fire, I am the purity God desires, until they are calm. You don't just say it 2 or 3 times and then stop. I always encourage them, keep saying it until you've calmed down. And then know that everything goes according to guidance, and when the Ascended Masters say that work should be done, things will take place. So, in the meantime, say the Violet Flame.
Okay. So now,
to help stay balanced, because it doesn't help the situation if you're there panicking and worrying. How does that help anybody or help anything? It doesn't.
And that's the karma, right?
That's the karma part.
Something happens, and now you feel like you have to deal with it right now, and they go through, why is this happening to me? And it looks like it's just non-stop. As soon as one thing is done, something else comes.
Right.
See, but then if you're putting that mentality out there, if you're thinking, oh, as soon as this one stops, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, I used to think that way. I was always co-creating another, what I considered catastrophe.
How are you doing that?
By thinking, okay, well, I just got through that one. What's going to come up now? What will the next thing be? A flat tire? And then I go out to my car and there's a flat tire. I knew it, of course, because I'm psychic.
You should start at 800 psychic lines.
I should have.
Right? But that's a very good point, right? I remember a long time ago, we were just friends then, but I used to get parking tickets, or not parking tickets, tickets all the time.
Yes.
Whether it's parking ticket or
a speeding ticket. Yes.
All the time, right?
Yes.
And then I used to go like this, I wonder when I'll get the other one. Or the next one, right? And
he always created.
Within a month, I get another one, and they weren't cheap either.
They were not.
So, but this is how we do this. People do this a lot. So instead of effectively balancing the karma, we complain about it. So how do we effectively balance it? Well, something comes up, we thank God for it.
Yes.
Because we know it's something that's overdue.
Yes.
Especially
a situation that people consider, because of perspective again, being a bad situation. I'm trying to think of one that has happened recently, but it's not coming to mind. But now, when something bad comes up, I look at it and I go, all right, so this is a nice way to balance some karma. Let's get through this. I've got the help of the Ascended Masters, and when it's done, I move on to bigger and better things.
So thank you, and then you move on.
Thank God, this is being balanced.
And that's the way it should be, right? I always use the example of, let's say for example, well, we had the example with when we had the minivan before this one.
Yes.
When we took it to the mechanic, and the mechanic said, oh, you can't do anything else with this, just buy a new vehicle, right?
Right.
And then I had checked and I was told, no, you don't need to buy a new vehicle. So we didn't get a new vehicle. And one day we're driving in a different city, all of a sudden the car's smoking. Remember that?
Yes.
Almost like on fire, it wouldn't move. And we're like, okay, it's time to buy a new vehicle because this thing is dead. And where were we? We were
right across the street from a dealership.
Exactly, right?
A dealership for the same brand vehicle that we had.
Right? And so then we said, wow, we're right across the street. So we called them, they said, just drive it in. You'll be fine. We're like, okay. But we're ready to spend all this money on this. And I told her, I said, you know what, let's be ready, we'll just buy a new vehicle. And then I even told you, if it's beyond this price, we're not buying it.
Right.
But we're ready to go in and buy a new vehicle.
And we looked at some, we were waiting for them to tell us what was wrong with ours.
Yeah.
And then they finally came back and they said, oh, well, you just had too much oil in there. We just removed it, and they took care of a couple other things.
Spark plugs.
Spark plugs, yeah. The spark plugs were bad, and that was giving you all the information on your dashboard that was incorrect. So everything will be fine now. We were like, really?
Yeah. And then
it only cost a couple $100? And I'm like, huh?
Because I even asked him, I said, do we have to buy a new car? Like, oh, no, it was just a spark plug.
Right.
While the other guy told us, this car is dead, your engine is terrible.
Just trade it in, get rid of it.
And that wasn't the case. But throughout that whole time, because we knew we weren't supposed to get a vehicle, we didn't. And even though the car was smoking, we never complained.
We
just said, okay, well,
we'll see what's going to happen.
We're right here, and that's the thing you'll find out, that as long as you're connected with the Ascended Masters, even when something challenging comes up, it's always in a convenient way. Right?
It is.
Like we're right across the street from the dealership. We just walked across the street and we're right there. And we've had other situations. Flat tire. We've had flat tire, and then by the time I find out it's a flat tire, we're right
in front of a place where we could stop the car.
That's correct. And so that's how you effectively balance the karma, as in enjoy it. Something happens, laugh. Like, all right, this is handled. You don't go, okay, I wonder what's going to happen next. You go, okay, this one is handled. I thank God for this. And just like I said, and that's how you cast it to Jesus or to Christ when he says, bring me your burdens, I will make them light. So, okay, Jesus or Christ, I'm bringing you this right here. You handle this because you already told me you will make it light. And he will. And it could be any Ascended Master. It could be Shiva, it could be Gautama Buddha, it could be Muhammad, Elijah, anyone that you're close to.
Right.
And by doing that, you'll start to notice that the more you do that, the more convenient things are when they happen.
Yes.
You know? And I don't know if there's another example.
It's like always being at the right place at the right time. It's amazing how it happens.
And you say that a lot, right?
Yes.
Because whenever something would happen, you're like, well, we're at the right place at the right time.
Indeed.
Because whatever it is, it happens, and they were like, okay, it's right here. And they would take care of it at that point. So enjoy the challenges, because they really are challenges. You're getting over an obstacle that's long overdue. It's karma that you need to balance. It's been there for a long time. So enjoy the journey and thank the Ascended Masters for it. And by saying the vow of flame, you stay calm. Now, as you progress in this journey with 190 Vision, you will be given additional tools that will help you a lot.
Especially when it comes to relationships. A lot of the challenge with relationships is our perspective. And as we change our perspective and start to implement the tools that are given to us from the Ascended Masters, you'll see changes with the relationship. The karma will be balanced, and you'll be like, oh, it didn't end up being as bad as I originally thought it was. So,
well, it winds up being good, not as bad.
Yes.
And that's look at karma as an opportunity to improve your life. That's really what it is. It's not something you should dread. It's more like, okay, get over this, and now it's a stepping stone to something better.
Right.
All right.
Fantastic. If you have any concerns or questions, be sure to send them to us. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the Donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.